Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of College Hockey Talk. On today's podcast, I'm joined by Merrimack hockey commit and current player of the Mississauga Junior Hurricanes, Ashlyn Kroes. Welcome to the podcast, Ashlyn, and how's everything going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's Friday. I'm excited for the weekend. I hope you are as well. It's Halloween weekend when we're recording this,
For
so it should
sure.
be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I want to start off this podcast just talking about how the season's been going for yourself in the PWHL, and how would you evaluate your team's overall performance this season?
I think we're doing good. We've had 3 regular season games as well as we played in the Stony Creek tournament, and we're competing really well, and I think we've been working hard, and I'm pretty happy with how we've been playing.
Yeah, this is your first year playing with Mississauga, so what contributions do you want to make to the team this year, and how have you gone about doing that?
I'm hoping to bring a lot of positivity and good leadership. In Mississauga, we have a saying, and it's called "Keep the jersey in, or leave the jersey in a better place." So that just means being better than how the organization was before, and always seeking to be better. So I just want to do that. I just want to come in, do my best, and help make the organization better.
Yeah, how'd you get the opportunity to go to Mississauga? What made you want to transition to a different team in the PWHL?
I never really played for the Brampton Juniors, so I was kind of looking at any PWHL teams, and I was talking to the Mississauga coaches, and I did really like them, and I liked their philosophies, I guess. I liked the way that they ran the team, and I thought it would be good for me.
Now, let's talk a little bit about this past offseason and how you were prepared for this new PWHL season. So, how was your offseason overall last summer? And did you do anything interesting, whether it was hockey related or non hockey related?
I mean, it was pretty good. I was trying to train 5 days a week, but I also work a part-time job at McDonald's. So having to balance, hockey, training with work, and then seeing friends, I didn't really do anything too exciting, just training.
Do you think that's going to benefit you when you go to college, just because as a student athlete in college, you have to balance both academics and hockey at such a high level?
I definitely do think it will. Like the part-time job, even though it's only 4 days a week, it takes a lot out of you. So I think being able to manage that with my schoolwork, my training, I think it'll be good for me going into college.
Now, how's the job been overall for yourself?
I mean, it's okay. It's McDonald's. It's kind of gross, but it's well, and it's pretty flexible. If I need a shift change, they're okay to do that for me because they have so many workers.
That's good to hear. Well, that's good to hear. Now, like last year with many other hockey players, you probably faced a lot of challenges for the off season just because the pandemic was still going on. One
Hmm.
of those challenges was probably finding ice time and also finding gyms as well. How did you
Yeah.
try to manage those challenges, and how did you deal with them for this past off season? And how did it compare to the off season of 2020?
Yeah, so I honestly got on the ice as much as I could. During the summer, I was on the ice almost 4 times a week. And in my basement, I actually have a home gym. So the gym closures didn't really affect me that much. I was able to train all the way through. But the ice time, I tried to get on the ice 4 days a week.
Yeah, and
But
is there a difference training at home versus in a gym setting? And do you think there's any benefits training from home that you think you can see more in the ice when you actually start playing versus being in the gym?
I mean, the only time I've been in the gym has been team workouts. So I don't really have like gym experience outside of my house. I feel like it's nice having the gym in my basement because I'm able to work out whenever I want and I know what equipment I have. I know what I can do and can't do. So it's nice because I know exactly what to expect and I can do it whenever I want to.
Yeah, was it hard to find ice time in the summer of 2020? And obviously, you said you went on the ice 4 times a week for this past summer. So did that change your approach at all for this off season compared to that one?
Um like just this off season, I just wanted to get on the ice as much as I could because in 2020, like I don't even know how many times I was on the ice. It was really hard to find ice time. The odd time we had like a 4-on-4 game or a team practice, but it was only half the team. So as soon as we were able to jump on the ice more, I was just doing that. It just trying to get on whenever I could.
Now, overall, how is training going for yourself, and what are you working on the most for your game for this season?
Training's good. I'm trying to lift 3 days a week, like during the season. I'm just trying to improve my overall strength because going into college, obviously, it's a big step up. and I'm gonna have to be stronger because anybody can bump anyone off the puck. So I want to be stronger so that I can go in and do some damage.
Yeah, that kind of answers my next question. But is that one area of your game that you're trying to improve on the most for this season, and or is there some other part of your game you're trying to improve on, or is it kind of just everything?
I mean, strength, but also my mentality. Like sometimes I really struggle with my mental game. So it's easy for me to fall into a spiral if I get down on myself during the game. So I've really been trying to work on that. I've been reading a book. It's called Hockey Tough. I don't know if you know that book,
I have
but
not read it. No.
I read it a couple summers ago, and I think I'm going to get back into it because it talks all about mental game and how you should prepare and how you should help build your mental strength, I guess. And that's what I'm working on the most.
Yeah, definitely. Who's the author of that book?
I actually don't know. I can send it to you after, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. I just
But
think it's really interesting to hear about that part of hockey because that's something I just as a fan don't really realize is just how important the confidence is for a
yeah,
player because it's so hard to gain confidence, but it's so easy to lose confidence. And confidence can be a big role in a player's game because if you're not confident, you might not want to take that extra shift, or it might be hard to take that extra shift and go that extra mile to win that game. So I think it's definitely an important part of the game that it seems like it's starting to get more attention. At least more players are starting to focus more on it now in regards to their training.
yeah, no, for sure it is. And like for me, it's a really big part. Like you said, confidence. I know that I can do certain things, but if I'm not confident in that moment, I might not be able to pull off a play, right? So it's just building that up for myself because I know that I'm better than how I play sometimes.
Yeah. How do you try to build up confidence during the season? Because there's so many highs and lows that happen during the season. So what's the key for yourself to try to build up that confidence?
For me, I try to, after I make a mistake on the ice, I try to forget about it. I try to just think about what I'm going to be doing the next shift. And that way my confidence isn't too low, if that makes sense, from that one mistake. For me, I like to take a big drink of water and then spit it out as hard as I can. And for me, that's just letting go of the mistake and moving on to the next shift. And it's been helping. Like it's helping me move past and not dwell on things that I've done in previous shifts, but also it doesn't work every time. It's just a little strategy of mine.
Yeah, have you tried to teach some of your teammates about that? Because you're obviously a senior this year, so you're one of the leaders on the team. Is that something you're trying to teach some of the younger players, how to try to not dwell on those mistakes?
I mean, I try to just be encouraging whenever, like, if there's a mistake and someone's obviously upset about it, just give them a tap on the back. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's in the past. But I mean, I haven't really opened up about my strategy. People probably don't know what I'm doing when I do
Mhm.
it. But yeah.
Now, let's start just talking about the beginning of your hockey career and kind of work all the way up to where you are now with Mississauga. So you're from Canada. Just talk about where you grew up and how did you start playing hockey?
Yeah. So I grew up in Milton, Ontario, and I still live there. And the first time I ever played hockey was because my cousin and my uncle were telling my mom that there was this opportunity in North Halton. So I used to play for the North Halton Twisters. There was an opportunity to just step on the ice and kind of see how you like it. And I was screaming and crying. I did not want to get on the ice. Like my mom felt so bad, but I finally did. She got me on the ice and I skated for 2 hours. When I got off, I was like, sign me up. I was 3 years old.
Hmm.
I was 3 years old, and that was where it started. I played all the way up until Pee Wee in North Halton. Um, from there, I made the switch to Brampton up until midget double A, and now Mississauga.
Yeah, and who was your favorite player growing up? Was it someone in the NHL or was it a women's player on the national team?
James Van Riemsdyk for sure. He used to play for Toronto, which is my team, and I just thought he was a big body up front, and he grinded like he worked hard, and he's Dutch, and so am I. So that was another another part that I liked about him.
Yeah, was it hard for you to see him go to Philly or go back to Philly?
Yeah, especially because that's my dad's team. So now my dad's favorite team has my favorite player, and it's just annoying because I don't want to cheer for my dad's favorite team.
Yeah, but at least he's on a team that someone in your family watches, so that's one positive to take away from it.
I guess, yeah, if you look at it that way.
Now, I wanted to ask you about how did you got the opportunity to play in the PWHL with Brampton? What's the process like for a Pee Wee player or a Bantam player to get that opportunity to go up to juniors in that league?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the coaches, they would watch our practices and they would kind of see how we play. They'd watch our games, and whenever the juniors would need someone to fill in a spot, sometimes they call up a midget, but in Bantam I was called up I think once or twice, and I mean it really depends, like if just what they see, and if they like it then they'll call you up, I guess. But I think it's just scouting.
Hmm. And how you started off your junior career with Brampton, like we talked about a little bit, but just talk about your overall experience with Brampton and what you took away from it.
I mean, so I was only really a call up. I wasn't actually on the team ever. So it was kind of scary because I was the youngest there, obviously, when I got called up in Bantam. So it was very scary. And I kind of felt awkward because I was so much younger. But stepping into that game, it was definitely a big step up from Bantam. And I was able to see how much faster and how much stronger the girls were. So just my biggest takeaway was just how much better the game is at the junior level.
Yeah, was that your favorite memory with Brampton, kind of stepping on the ice in the PWHL for the first time after being called up?
I mean, that was pretty cool. But another one of my favorite memories was Bantam Double A. This medal right here. We
Nice.
came third in the province, and that was pretty exciting for me. Like that's my best. It's my best thing I've ever done in hockey. Really, it's the biggest achievement so far, medal wise. So that was one of my favorite memories too, because it was really cool.
Yeah, just looking at your background, there's a ton of medals there, so that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting that that's your favorite one. Uh,
Yeah.
so when you think about your time in Brampton, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make to the PWHL? Stepping on the ice for the first time, was it kind of the speed of the game, or is there any physicality adjustment you have to make since you're going against players that are older than you?
There's a big time physicality difference. Like I remember someone knocked me over because I don't know, like I got knocked off the puck, and I was like looking for a penalty, and they're like, no, like these aren't penalties here. Like you're allowed to go hard on the puck. So definitely physicality and definitely speed. Those are the two major differences.
And how did you try to build up that physicality, I guess, because that seems like that's a big adjustment for a lot of players that go into juniors, but also it's a big adjustment for people once they get to college hockey to make that even higher step in the collegiate
Yeah.
level.
I mean, I'm pretty solid, like 5'6". I guess I'm not short, but I'm not tall either. But just understanding that I am strong and I am allowed to like throw the body a little bit more. That's something that I had to adjust and get used to doing, because you're not going to win puck battles if you're not physical. You're not going to win the puck if you don't angle someone off into the boards or whatever. So just, understanding what I can do and being as physical as possible, that was one of the things that I had to adjust.
Now, last season, your team didn't play any games. What was your mindset like last year when there was so much uncertainty regarding your season?
It was really hard. It was honestly really hard. It was difficult with motivation because I didn't know what I was getting ready for, and I was kind of losing hope as to like what we were going to be doing. Mind you, we did get to play a few 4-on-4 games, but it was like there's no face-offs, and you had, yeah, it was only half your team at one time playing against the other team, and it was just it wasn't really hockey. It felt more like shinny, and it was hard to be so serious about it, if that makes sense. It was hard. It was tough.
Yeah, how'd you get through that mental adjustment of the uncertainty, but also trying to have the motivation to continue to work hard for the season?
Um, I just pushed through it. I told myself something's gonna happen eventually. We're not gonna be stuck like this forever. So just keep training and keep working hard. And I did have my off days. I did have days where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This is awful. What am I even training for? But I managed to grind through it because I knew that something was going to come eventually.
Now, how did you try to get to know your new teammates last year when you weren't really seeing half of them during practice when you had practice?
It was hard. Like I knew a couple of the girls because they had come from the Brampton junior team, so I had been called up with them before. And the new girls, just whenever we were in the dressing room, just trying to make conversation with everybody and anybody that you could, because I didn't know when we were going to be practicing the next time, right? So it was just talking as much as I could in the dressing room, and then also online. We did do some virtual activities and team bonding, but it obviously wasn't the same.
Yeah, and how do you know your teammates now? Has it been nice to kind of be seeing them all again for practices and stuff? And what's that adjustment been like for yourself?
It's been so awesome. Like I just my favorite part of hockey, well not my favorite part, but one of my favorite parts is just going to the dressing room, seeing my teammates, interacting with everybody. So I was so happy when we could finally, practice consistently and have everybody in the room and, you know, just get to bond, I guess. It was really fun and I'm really happy about it.
Now, what did you do last year, and what would have normally been your season? Just schoolwork, or just trying to any hockey things you got to do during that time? It seems like it was pretty restricted.
Yeah, so like just the 4-on-4 games as I said and just working out. I would get on the ice the odd time when I could, but again, it wasn't very available. So yeah, I did school, but it was online, so it was kind of like I don't know, it was hard because I felt like I didn't have to do it, but I did. But
Hmm.
yeah, schoolwork and then training, I guess.
Has it been nice to kind of get back to normal schooling? I guess I don't know what it's like up in Canada, but I assume it's kind of the same here.
Yeah, so we get to do in-person learning. Class sizes are normal again. We're there all day. So I really like that because online just it isn't for me. I hate not being able to ask the teacher questions. It's hard for me to pay attention when I'm online. So it's been really nice to get back into the normal swing of things, kind of. Um, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I do like about online classes, I don't know if you feel the same way, is it makes life a little more convenient just because you don't need to travel to different places. I know for college, you're going from your dorm room to class, then to another class, so it's a kind of a time-consuming thing, but just to have it online was nice. I don't know if you felt the same way about that.
Yeah. I mean, like it was in a way convenient because I can make breakfast while my teacher's talking, but like at the same time it was just it's not something for me. I just didn't like it. I'd rather be in school.
Yeah, I feel like you learn better when you're in person just because the interaction with the teacher is more, I just think it's a more better way to learn.
Yeah, I learn way better in person.
Well, I'm glad you're back in person classes. Now, let's start off talking about this season in the PWHL. So, what was the process like for kind of getting rid of rust when you first started playing games? And how'd you try to build the chemistry with your teammates after not really playing with them for quite some time last year?
It was frustrating. Like it was frustrating to try and get the rust off. Obviously, it was a big adjustment being thrown into these high intensity games after not really being able to play for a year. Um, but I'm getting used to it. Like I'm still not at the level that I want to be at, but I'm getting there slowly. So it's good to be, you know, back playing obviously, and I'm working off the rust. And then the girls just practice with the girls. It honestly has built the team chemistry so much. Like from our first game, we got to play against the alumni of Mississauga, and that was an ugly game. But honestly, by the third game, we were passing, like we were hitting our passes. We knew where we were going to be, and we can only get better from there. So just practicing with everyone has made it a lot easier.
Who are some of the Mississauga alumni?
We played against like Jackie Grosso, um, like Mika Chang was there, Maddie Primo, some of those girls that have just moved on.
Oh, that's nice. Was it nice to kind of talk? I don't know if you had the chance to talk to them after the game just about their experiences, but was that nice for yourself if you got to do that?
Yeah, like I like them. They were on the team last year when we didn't really have a team, like we didn't have hockey really, but they were still on the team, and I liked interacting with them.
Now, what's been the biggest improvement you've made to your game since last year?
My shot. I worked a lot on my shot in the summer with shooting coach Mike Crampton. He's with Just Shoot It in Oakville, but he's really helped me get better with my shot and just snap the puck.
Yeah, and what type of leadership are you trying to bring to the team this year? I know we kind of talked about it with the encouragement when some of your teammates feel down, but are you trying to be more of a vocal leader in the locker room or kind of a lead by example type of player?
I mean, I definitely, as you said, like try to encourage my teammates as much as I can, being vocal. But in the locker room before games, like I don't talk. I sit there and I focus, and I think that's kind of, I guess, setting an example. I focus really hard before games, so I'm not very vocal before games.
Now, what are your goals and expectations for yourself and for your team as the season goes on this year?
I mean, I really hope to compete. I really want to win as many games as we can, obviously, and it would be awesome to be in the championship. But just for the team, I really hope that we're competing at the level that I know that we can, because that's all you can really ask for.
Now, whenever I have players and juniors on, I kind of like to ask about one teammate you get to play with. So, what's it like to play with Rhea Hicks, and just talk about the connection that you two have, especially since she's committed to go to Syracuse next year?
Yeah, no, I love her. She's awesome. She works hard on the ice and she's been so encouraging. And I've been playing with her since Peewee. Like when I moved to Brampton, her dad was a coach. Like she was one of my teammates and she's one of my best friends. Like she's such a good person on the ice, but also off the ice. Like we hang out. We hang out quite often. She's awesome.
Yeah, is it kind of nice to grow up with someone just throughout your hockey career, but also personally as well?
Yeah, like it's been cool because we've been friends obviously since Pee Wee, so it's pretty young. And just being able to go through the junior experience with her as well, like she's one of my best friends, so it's just awesome that I've been able to do that with her.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your college kind of hockey connection. So, you recently committed to Merrimack. Just talk about your recruitment process and what made you want to commit there versus other schools you might have looked at.
Yeah, so I committed in grade 9, which is relatively early. I had been talking to the coaching staff, and they were pretty nice and they were easy to talk to. And my teammate, Sydney Lynch, was also talking to Merrimack at the time. So we planned this weekend and we went up to Boston, checked out the campus, watched the team play. And both of us loved the school. Like we loved the campus. We liked that it was small, but it just felt right. So both of us we decided they offered and we were like, yeah, we want to do it, we want to go there. So it's going to be really fun going with her because she's also one of my best friends. And yeah, I'm excited to get started.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on just on the campus and the New England scene?
I loved it. Like I every time we go to Boston, we would go there in the summer sometimes for Beantown. I loved it there. I thought it was so cool. I liked how the beach was only 30 minutes away. Like it was really fun. And I like the city and the campus is so, I don't know, it just felt right. It felt right at home.
Yeah. Have you been there in the wintertime? Just because that must be tough not being able to go to the beach in that season.
Yeah, I did go in the winter and I kept myself busy. It was nice.
That's awesome. Well, do you know anyone on the team currently, and what's the communication like between you and Merrimack now?
Um I know it was Sarah Hurst. I don't know. I thought she was supposed to go last year. I'm not really sure when she's going, but I do know her. We played novice hockey together. So, whenever she goes, I guess I'll see her. But yeah, I sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Oh, just what's the communication now like with
Oh,
Merrimack and yourself? Is there kind of no communication after the commitment process, or is there like, are they trying to like help you develop in juniors before you commit to the school or go to the school for the first time?
I mean, we talk a lot. We do talk a lot. We'll arrange phone calls every now and then, and we are constantly texting. So it's nice. I just actually finished my application. So I was talking to the coaches a lot about just questions regarding that. Um, but like no, like they've kept in contact with me even throughout COVID when I wasn't really practicing or playing. They were still talking to me all the time just to make sure I was doing all right, seeing how I'm doing, stuff like that.
Yeah, is that nice for yourself to know that the school cares about you and your development even before you go to college?
Yeah, like that's definitely something that um I like about it because I know that it makes me feel like they care about me. Like, you know what I mean? It just feels nice that they want to know how I'm doing and how I'm doing with training and I don't know, it felt nice.
Now, for college hockey fans that have never seen you play before, just describe your game to them and what do you hope to bring to Merrimack in the 2022-23 season?
Yeah, I'm a hard worker, and I try to use my size and strength to my advantage. I try to play a pretty physical game. So in 2022 to the 23 season, I really hope to bring my game because I know that I can come in and I can work hard, and I just want to, continue to develop my strengths so that I can bring that aspect of my game too.
Yeah, do you ever I know hitting isn't allowed in women's hockey, but I have to ask, since you think you're a physical player, do you think it should be allowed, and do you think that would benefit your game?
I mean, it would be fun. It would be a lot of fun, I think. But I feel like it would also kind of slow down the game, if that makes sense. Like when you're out there, you don't really have to worry about it. Well, you do because there might be some player that just chooses to, but I feel like it would really slow down the game. But it would definitely be fun. Like body checking penalties are no fun.
Yeah. I feel like refs sometimes they're super strict about it, and then sometimes they're super lenient about it. So I feel
Yeah.
like depending on the ref you might have, it has a dramatic effect on how the game plays out. It depending on how they see a body check.
Yeah, it really depends. But sometimes when the refs let it go, then they have to let it go with the other team, and the game kind of gets out of control in that aspect. So I don't know. It definitely depends on the refs, but it can get pretty dirty.
What's the biggest body check you've ever thrown in a game? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I'm not a dirty player. I know that that's a penalty. I actually got one like in Stony Creek for I swear I didn't do anything. I
Hmm.
swear I didn't do anything. It's just the girl fell. But I don't really do anything dirty. I kind of just play my game. I've
Hmm.
definitely gotten hit. That's for sure, but I don't hit people as much. I just
Yeah.
try to angle them out cleanly.
What's the biggest, I guess, check that you've received, if the opposite way, I guess?
Literally a headshot like from behind. It
Oh,
was
wow.
brutal. It was so brutal. It like I was fine. I didn't get hurt or anything, but I was just like, whoa, that was uncalled for.
Oh, yeah. Those checks, even in men's hockey, I feel like it's just you don't want to see it. But no,
Yeah.
luckily you got up and you're okay from that. So that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Was there a penalty on the play or no? I feel like that
Oh
was,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh
good.
yeah.
So at least
Yeah.
the team got to pay for it a little bit by a power play.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah.
Now, have you been watching college hockey at all this year?
I mean, I haven't been watching full games, but I have seen like little clips here and there. Um, I've also streamed some of the Merrimack games and watched portions that I was able to, but I haven't watched it like religiously or anything.
Yeah, just what's your thoughts on Merrimack this year? It seems like they've made some improvements from last season. They're giving a lot of teams a lot of troubles, it feels like, just from portions I've watched.
Yeah, like the games are getting closer. They're definitely not just complete wipes anymore. Like it's the games are getting closer and it's pretty exciting to hear about. And the coaching staff is excited too. So it's awesome and I'm so excited to go there. I'm so excited.
Who do you think is going to win the national championship this year? Any predictions?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I want Northeastern because I have a family friend that
Oh,
plays on
nice.
that team, Megan Carter, and I think it'd be so cool for her to win.
Yeah, especially since they came so close last season.
Yeah.
Well, let's transition into the non-hockey segment of the podcast where I just ask you some non-hockey questions to kind of get to know you
Sure.
a little bit off the
Yeah.
ice. So my first non-hockey question to you is, what music do you like to listen to?
Well, it depends. So if I'm in a country mood, I'll listen to country. If I'm in like a rap mood, I'll listen to rap. But before games, I like EDM music in the car, some Calvin Harris. But then in the dressing room, I listen to rock and rap, and that's it before the game. My favorite song before game is called "Welcome to the Rodeo." I don't
I've
know if you
never
know
heard
that.
that.
It's so hype.
Who's it by?
It's Lil Skies.
Oh, I've actually never heard of that rapper
Yeah,
before.
he's a like he's not awesome, but that one song, I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm kind of the same way. I don't know if you do this, but I have like genre playlists. So I have like my
Mhm.
rock playlist, my EDM playlist, my hip hop playlist. So whatever mood I'm in, I just can click to that playlist and listen to those songs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I've been listening to my country one all week. Been on a big country grind.
Yeah, I know. I feel like maybe it's because it's the summer, even though it's not technically the summer anymore, it's still trying to hang on to the last hopes of it before it starts getting really cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, next on hockey question is, if there was a movie made about your life, who would you want to play yourself and why?
I would want Scarlett Johansson because she was so cool in all those superhero movies and she was just so determined and hardworking. Like I feel like she would fill the role. She would make me look so cool.
And you get to say that Scarlett Johansson played you in a movie, which not many people get to say.
Exactly. Black Widow played my character. Come on
Yeah.
now.
For me, I would probably go with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's kind of the
No.
same reason. Like, I think he seems like a cool guy, but also it would just be cool to say that Leonardo DiCaprio played me in a movie. Even though he looked nothing like, I just think it would be cool to say that.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny.
Now, who is the funniest teammate you have with the Hurricanes?
I mean, I find that everybody makes me laugh. Everybody has a great sense of humor, but Claudia Hennigan gets me laughing the most. Like her and I can just feed off each other, just cracking joke after joke after joke, and it's hilarious. It's really funny, and it happens every time we see each other. Just go on these chains of jokes, and it's really funny. We're both dying.
Any examples of the jokes, or you kind of have to be there to see it?
Kind of have to be there to see it. Like it's hard to describe, and they're
Mhm.
all like little inside jokes that
Yeah.
just get us going. It's hilarious. But
Well, you
yeah.
obviously have the best style on the team, but besides yourself, who has the best style?
I think I gotta go with Emma Fuwaka. She's always showing up in the coolest clothes, and then even her on ice style is just sick.
Do they make you wear like a suit for a game, like in juniors? I don't know if it's. I know it's different. I know in college hockey they make you. I didn't know they let you do that in juniors.
Yeah, so my team has a blue quarter zip with the Mississauga logo right here, and then the Under Armour logo or whatever. And then we have to wear brown khaki pants and dress shoes. So it's not a full on suit. I did in Brampton. I had to wear a white blouse and dress pants, but in Mississauga, it's not a full on dress up suit or whatever, but it is like something fancier than just showing up in your warm up gear.
Yeah. Do you like having the looser dress code? I guess because I know the Toronto Maple Leafs they're loosening up their dress code. Part of me likes it because it makes you more creative with your outfits, but I also kind of like wearing a suit before a game just because it makes things more professional.
Yeah, like I mean, our dress code still isn't like completely loose. Like we have to wear the khakis, we have to wear the quarter zip, but I do like that it's not a button-up shirt. I find those so uncomfortable. Like I'm really glad that it's something that I feel I can sit in.
Hmm.
And even the khaki pants, like you can find stretchy ones, so it's comfortable in the car. So I don't mind it, but it's still pretty strict. Like we have to wear the brown pants.
Yeah.
Shoes.
Well, it's better that I know the Mississauga Instagram account followed College Hockey Talk, so shout out to whoever runs that Instagram account. But I saw that you guys kind of got like new equipments. It looked pretty nice. I don't know what your thoughts on it were.
Yeah, no, honestly, getting new gear is like Christmas. It's better than Christmas. It's my favorite thing. Just walking in and seeing my stall with all the new stuff. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. I love it.
Yeah, especially with the Under Armour, I think it makes it look more professional, more comfortable too.
This is from this year.
Awesome. I'm wearing Under Armour too, but it's a Yukon sweatshirt, so a little bit different.
A little bit different. Yeah.
So since it is almost Halloween, I decided to ask some Halloween themed questions. So my
Yeah.
first one is just what's your overall thoughts on the holiday? Do you think it's overrated or do you really like it? I know some people are different about it.
I mean, I have fun dressing up and, hanging with my friends. But I mean, trick or treating, like that's a crazy thing actually. Like if you think about it,
Oh
just going to
yeah.
random people's houses collecting candy, like it's kind of weird and random, but I always had fun with it growing up. I love dressing up in my costume just for a day. It's pretty cool. But nowadays I like just hanging out with my friends all
Yeah, no,
dressed
I
up.
think it's kind of funny because all throughout your whole life you're told not to take things from strangers. However, one night in the
Exactly.
year you can go to their house and get candy. It is kind of funny when
Exactly.
you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, my overall thoughts on Halloween is it's not definitely not my favorite holiday. I'm more of a Christmas guy, but I guess if you want to have fun with it, go for it. But I'm not. I haven't dressed up in like years. It's been a while. So
Yeah.
I'm not really that. Maybe I'm kind of a Halloween Scrooge. Maybe that's just me. But who knows?
Yeah, that's funny. No, like it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Not just Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday.
Well, Thanksgiving's awesome, especially since I know it's not this way in Canada, but you get Halloween, then you get Thanksgiving, and then you get Christmas, and then my birthday's
Yeah.
in between that as well. So it's like 4 straight holidays. It's
Oh,
awesome.
it's perfect.
Yeah. What's your favorite costume you ever worn when you can think about it?
One year I was Captain America. and he is my favorite superhero to ever exist. Every time I play hockey, I'm wearing Captain America socks. Like I have a collection of 10 pairs of just Captain America socks that I rotate through, and I don't know what it is, but I just always wear those socks. And that was my favorite costume just because I love them.
Yeah, no, I think for myself, I always went as a hockey player, so I guess my parents liked that because they didn't have to spend money on a costume. But I was an astronaut one year. I thought that was pretty cool. Looking back on it,
That's awesome. Yeah.
I was Spider-Man another year as well, but the costume, I look back on it, it looks so bad, but I thought it was so cool when I wore it. So I don't know. I feel like most costumes are like that, but I thought it was like I did it like when I was like 7, but I just thought it was such a cool costume. But when I look back on it now, I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks horrible.
That's like everything in life though. Like you can take a picture, you think you look so cool, look back at it.
Hmm.
Why did I ever post that?
Yeah. Well, luckily I never posted it, just because I was
Oh,
like 7 years old, so I didn't have like social media. But I just think it's
yeah,
looking at old family photos. It's just like, oh my gosh, I thought this was cool, and it just wasn't.
true. That's funny.
Now, what's the best Halloween candy, and what's the worst Halloween candy?
Worst Tootsie Rolls. Absolutely disgusting. And then I think the best, I gotta go with like Twix or Mars bars, or Swedish berries, like any of those types of things. But Tootsie Rolls, so gross.
Hmm.
So gross.
I like the Tootsie lollipops. I think they're cool. But like
Oh,
once oh really, you're not into that either?
no.
Oh, I think these are awesome. Those are one of my favorite candies to get was just lollipops, just because you can suck on it for like a few minutes and then it just goes away. So I actually I do agree with you about the actual Tootsie Roll, but not the lollipop version of it.
Oh, no, I don't know what it is about it. Like what does it taste like even? Is it chocolate? Like it's just gross. It's so gross.
Hmm.
I also don't like Airheads or like any sort of taffy. I
Yeah,
think it's nasty.
I guess for myself the best candy was Reese's or Skittles. I'm a big Skittles guy, so those whenever I got those in the bag, that was awesome. But the worst one by far is Almond Joy. Oh my gosh, whenever that got thrown in your
Is
bag, it was so
what?
disappointing. So
What is it called?
Almond Joy.
I don't even know. I've never even heard of
Oh,
that.
maybe it's a U.S. thing. I didn't know. I thought it was kind of a worldwide thing, but no, it's like if it's kind of like a old person's candy, if that makes sense. Like,
Oh,
but it was just every time I got it, it was like a ball of like I don't. It was just I hate almond joy, and every time I got it, it was so disappointing. Because when you
yeah.
get a bag of candy after you're done trick or treating, that was
Mhm.
always I never ate that. That was always the last thing that was left.
They were still there next year when you went to trick or treat. Still at the bottom of the bag.
Yeah, I think my parents probably threw it away after a couple months of me not touching it.
Oh.
But I never liked almond joy. I don't think most people I've talked to don't like it either. So now, next non-hockey question, the final non-hockey question is, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Like just ever.
Yes.
When people chew with their mouths open. It is so gross. I don't want to see your food when you're eating it, and I don't want to hear it either. It's absolutely disgusting.
Everyone has that pet peeve, but to be honest with you, I don't really notice it that much. Maybe just because it doesn't bother me as much as other people, but do you see it all the time, like in school and stuff?
Well, I mean, recently, like I haven't been eating lunch at school. I'll come home at lunch because we're not even really allowed to sit in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
But like sometimes if I'm out for dinner and I'm with like other people and I see someone chewing with their mouth open, I'm like, disgusting. So gross. I hate it so much. I don't know why, but I notice it and it makes me want to throw up.
Yeah. My biggest pet peeve is bad drivers. One thing that has not changed from the pandemic is just people are struggling to drive on the roads, and it's traffic and all that stuff. It really makes my blood boil. So that's my opinion, because I have to deal with it every day.
Yeah, I actually got in, it wasn't really a car accident, but the other day I was driving and hit the median and burst my tire.
Hmm.
And it was because someone was kind of coming into we were going through an intersection, and this person starts coming into my lane through the intersection, which is like illegal. And so I had to kind of turn the wheel, hit the tire on the median, burst it. I was literally 30 seconds away from hockey, and I had two people. Rhea was in my car and Sydney was in my car. We had to pull over on the road and just wait for my coach to come save us because it was terrifying.
That sucks. Well, are you okay? And is your car gonna be good?
Yeah, so they took the car in to the dealership and they said something was wrong with it. And then we took it to a mechanic and the mechanic's like, no, there's nothing wrong with it. Like you just put on a new tire. So the dealership lied to us.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to get some money. That's the
Yeah,
sometimes they
exactly.
exaggerate some things.
But yeah, the car's fine and I'm fine. It was just like, what just happened? It was
Yeah.
scary.
Well, I'm glad everything's okay with that. That's
Yeah.
I've seen car accidents before, and it's pretty scary just because cars are very dangerous when you kind of think about it. I don't know if when in driver's ed, but they made me watch this movie of people getting in car accidents to like kind of scare you not to get in one, and it was just it's pretty scary to think about how serious those things can get. So I'm glad you're
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Well, I want to jump back into some hockey questions. My first one is what should be done to help grow women's hockey, in your opinion? Obviously, you've been in the junior ranks for a long time. So I don't know if you've seen the news of just like some college programs being canceled. And what would you do from your perspective to help grow the sport? What do you think needs to be done?
I mean, I just think like, advertising and promotions in the media is very crucial. Like everyone these days is online. Everyone is. Everyone's connected through social media. So I think just, marketing it and continuing to do so, um, like can really help bring attention to women's hockey because the game is getting better. Like it's not awful to watch. People say, oh, I don't like women's hockey, I don't like watching it, but honestly it's getting better. Like watching the women's championships, like to me it was good hockey, and I think that people need to give it like a chance. But yeah, I think just through promoting it, bringing more attention to it, it's going to help grow the game, and obviously just encouraging younger generations to play.
Yeah, that's definitely important, and that's something I'm trying to do with this podcast is promote
Mhm.
different college hockey players. But I'm starting to do junior players as well as now. So that's why I'm very appreciative of you coming on the podcast. It means a lot to me,
Yeah,
and hopefully this is just a one small step to help grow yourself, your team, and the sport as well as a whole.
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Now, next hockey question is: what advice would you give one of those younger players on how to make it to the D1 college hockey level?
I mean, honestly, just working hard. Nothing beats grit and hard work, so just continuing with that. I know, like I was working so hard, and I still do, but just hard work, it gets you noticed. But also, keeping up with your grades, because one of the first questions they ask you is, how are your grades? How do you do in school? And it's like if you have a bad average, if you're failing, schools aren't going to want you. So just working hard and keeping up with your grades because it's really important.
Yeah, I don't think you can play hockey if your grades aren't to a certain level. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not sure like what the specific thing is, and I'm not sure, like I'm just not sure, but I know for sure that if you want to go to school for hockey, you need to be able to balance your grades because they're not going to take people that aren't going to, do well in school
Yeah, absolutely.
based.
Yeah, and you might limit your options too. Like if you keep your grades up, you have more options because more schools will want you and would be able to accept you just because of your grades. So that's another thing to consider as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, do you have any shout outs before the interview ends to any of your family members, friends, former teammates, anyone that we might have forgotten to mention during this interview?
I mean, maybe just Jody Hicks, which is Ray's dad, but also one of my former coaches. He completely changed the game for me in Pee Wee. Um, and he's one of the best coaches I've ever had. He was awesome, super encouraging. But I mean, other than that, love you, mom. Like, I don't know, I don't know, but yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Ashlyn, for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Like I said before, one of my goals is to promote players and juniors who are going to play college hockey in the future. So I appreciate you taking time and talking to me today. It means a lot. And take care, stay safe, and I wish you all the best for the rest
thank
of your season.
you,
And I can't wait to see you play with Merrimack in the near future.
thank you.